From the late 70s until the mid-90s, arcades were one of the hallmarks of video game culture. Their main appeal was to give players an experience that they could not get at home. Some games did that by adding a physical element to the gameplay. Special controls, enclosed cockpits, moving chairs, and so on. One of the most iconic arcade games in this category is Afterburner, or rather its enhanced version / sequel Afterburner 2, both released by Sega in 1987. Afterburner 2 is an action game that puts you in control of an F-14 Tomcat fighter jet. Its deluxe cabinet featured a moving cockpit that rocked back and forth while the chair inside swung left and right. If you saw one of those babies in an arcade, you just had to give it a go. Besides the fancy cabinet, the game itself was no slouch either. Afterburner 1 and 2 were ported to almost every home computer and console imaginable. But then the franchise went dormant for quite a while. Eventually there was an Afterburner 3 released in 1992 for the Sega CD and the FM Towns computer. But it was a sequel in name only, having nothing to do with the previous games in the franchise. As a matter of fact, it was a renamed port of the arcade game Strike Fighter, which itself was a sequel to G-Lock Air Battle, but I digress. Fans of the original would have to wait 19 years for another installment worthy of the name Afterburner.
Burner Climax.
Afterburner Climax blasted into arcades in 2006 and it was glorious. The deluxe cabinet even brought back the servo-equipped chair. But this time the true spectacle was the frantic action on the huge widescreen monitor. After a successful run in arcades, the game was ported to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 in April 2010. Ports for iOS and Android devices followed in early 2013. Afterburner Climax takes everything the original did and cranks it up to 11. Players can now choose between 3 different aircraft: the FA-18E Super Hornet, the F-15 Strike Eagle, and the F-14D Super Tomcat, as well as 4 different paint jobs for each plane. It's even possible to switch between Climax's music and the original soundtrack from Afterburner 2 if you're feeling retro. Talk about fan service. The game itself is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, just look at it. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and all around a joy to play. Controls are tight and intuitive, and the graphics are simply gorgeous. You can dispose of your enemies with your Vulcan gun or your missiles. Just move the crosshair over the approaching targets and you're locked and loaded. You can also trigger Climax mode, which slows down time and enlarges your crosshair to easily target a larger group of enemies. Controlling your plane feels incredibly responsive and intuitive. You'll be doing quick maneuvers and dizzying barrel rolls in no time. Furthermore, you have the option to slow down your jet or activate the titular Afterburner to increase the already breakneck speed. The rockin' soundtrack is a little bit subdued by the effects and the constant radio chatter, but it's prominent enough to give you an adrenaline rush, especially during the transitions between the different sections. Each of these sections has a different look and feel. You zoom over oceans and barren deserts, through canyons and sewer tunnels? Sure, why not? Every now and then you'll get a special mission, like shooting down a certain enemy or destroying a certain number of targets. Depending on your performance, you'll get grades before you move on. Although the game is mostly linear, the path branches a few times, giving you the option to fly either left or right. This doesn't have much impact on the outcome of the game, but at least it gives you a small degree of variety. The console version of Afterburner Climax adds some additional features. The so-called EX options allow you to modify aspects of the game to make it easier or harder on yourself. Then there's Practice Mode. Here you can select previously unlocked sections to play them individually. Finally, there's also a Score Attack mode plus leaderboards. So all in all, Afterburner Climax is filled to the brim with replay value. In a perfect world, this is where I would end my review, with me imploring you to buy the game right now. Unfortunately, we do not live in a perfect world. Burner Climax is one of the prime examples that in the age of digital distribution, not everything is hunky-dory. You see, the game never got a physical release and was only available for download through Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network and mobile platforms. Sadly, by the end of 2014, Sega delisted the game from XBLA and PSN, and in May 2015, Burner Climax was also taken out of the Google Play and App Store. Although no official reason for this was given, it's widely assumed that the licensing agreement between Sega and the plane manufacturers Boeing and Northrop Grumman expired. The same thing happened with Outrun Online Arcade, another great download title with its Ferrari license. Bottom line, as of 2017 there is no way to buy a copy of Burner Climax anymore. So why do a review then? Simply because it's a brilliant action game that doesn't deserve to be forgotten. Don't get me wrong, this is not meant to be a cautionary tale for the inherent problems with digital distribution. It's a posthumous love letter to the pinnacle of the Afterburner series. And even though Burner Climax disappeared from digital storefronts, it must not disappear from the public consciousness. Besides, you can always get the arcade cabinet. Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.